So I haven't made this type of video in a little bit. I haven't made one, and I don't know how long. I know I'm on my like 3rd week of work, and I haven't made one since then. But this is my first weekend that I'm off so far. I don't know how many more weekends we're gonna get off before we're working every single weekend, but I know it's not gonna be very many. So I know I can't exactly remember, but I do know one of the last things that I talked about while making this type of video. Obviously I was unemployed, but I was talking about the phones that I was trying to get. But that's gonna be this coming week, so I'm gonna order it probably Tuesday afternoon. I'm gonna order whatever phone I decided to get. And I know I made that one video. I'm pretty sure I uploaded it. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm like 89, maybe 90% sure that I uploaded it, saying I was gonna get the Google Pixel 9 Pro and the Vivo X200 Pro. I really want the Vivo so bad. Like, I would get it. It's just the only thing I'm worried about is obviously cellular connection, which AT&T is the #1 thing around here. That's literally about like kind of the only thing around here. And I know I can just go get like a prepaid SIM card and put it in there and it'd work. So I'm going to order the Vivo X200 Ultra. And I might wait on the Pixel 9 Pro just because like I want a good photography, phone, and that is literally, it's like unbeaten. And it's everything I could ask for in a phone. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. I may end up getting another phone eventually for whatever reason, I don't know, but I haven't had like, I guess you could say, some people call it time, some people call it like phone, but I canceled my my phone plan like 3 weeks ago, just because I knew I was going to be getting a new phone, and I literally couldn't even use it. Like, I could call and text on it. That's about the only thing I could do, because I had Verizon, and I had like, you can't even like hardly use Verizon around here like at all. So I canceled it like 3 weeks ago, and it's been like no different. But it's literally been no difference in terms of just like if I miss it or not. Because I don't call or text anyone like at all. The only person that I had to call or text was my dad and my brother sometimes. But I have my dad on Messenger, and my mom, everybody else on like Facebook Messenger and stuff. And I have Wi-Fi everywhere I go. I have Wi-Fi here, Wi-Fi at work. But yeah, so I guess that's #1. I think there's going to be a couple segments of this video. There's some things that I guess I can catch up on. So that's #1. I'm going to be ordering the Vivo X200 Pro, or not the Pro, the Vivo X200 Ultra, this coming Tuesday, so in a couple of days. Second, I guess I could talk more about the job, how it's going. So I'm back in the same, I guess, mindset that I was last year. Work. I do enjoy the money that I'm making. It's so weird because I need some things, like I need more deodorant. I mean, I still have it. I'm not saying like I haven't used deodorant. I use it every day, but I'm gonna need more deodorant like now, actually. I need more shirts. I need more this and more that. But I even though I have so much money now, it's weird because I'm still in that mindset where I'll being broke, and that's a good thing because I'm saving so much money. But yeah, I'm back in that same mode, obviously, maybe because I'm back at the same place. But I don't know, I want a vehicle really, really bad. Like, I want a vehicle more than a house, but there's two things there, or no, really, I guess three. There's three things that I'm dying to have right now, and that is a vehicle. #2, being a, you know, better studio setup. So I don't care if it's a you know, good gaming laptop, simple interface, and a good, you know, good studio headphones, and what's it called, you know, a good mic. I don't care, just something simplistic or minimalistic, I guess I should say. But I don't really care. I just want something better than BandLab. And you know, now that I'm working, I finally, you know, got like my BandLab Pro membership subscription. I got, you know, YouTube Premium back. I got, you know, everything that I had, you know, a couple months ago. I finally got it back because I now have money. I have to I have to reopen my bank account because I had $0 in there for like over a month. So they closed my account out, and I have to go make another one, which is, you know, whatever. I don't really care too much. I've been using Cash App, but I need to do that. Probably I'm gonna do that Monday. I've been, you know, working 12s every single day except for like Monday and Tuesday. But with that being said, though, the job is going pretty good. You know, the only, you know, it's definitely took me, you know, some getting used to, and I'm still trying to get used to it. I can definitely tell that my my energy, not really just my energy, but my, I guess I should say my momentum and stamina, I'm pretty sure it's stamina, have increased. Like I can just do more without getting less tired because I'm back in that, you know, work mode. But yeah, it's definitely done that. As far as a house goes, I'm not sure. I'd really like to get, you know, that apartment that I've been talking about, either that or maybe a little house around here. I don't really care, but I'd really like to get one of those apartments. That would be cool. I'll find something, who knows. But I'd like, you know, that, because 3 bedrooms would be great, you know, in case I had a buddy or somebody needed a place to stay. You know, I'd have, you know, all those extra rooms, because it's just gonna be me there. But work is going pretty good. You know, like I said, I love the money that I'm making. But yeah, honestly, I'm just really working. That's literally all that I'm doing right now. I've just been working. One unfortunate thing, I had a feeling this is gonna happen, but I'd say the only bad thing about this, you know, going back to the same job, is last year my, you know, carpal tunnel got so bad that, like, when I was like driving, like I couldn't feel my hand while driving unless I just like switched hands. And I can definitely feel it. Like I was holding my phone talking to my dad today, and I could, like, the end of my fingertips and my wrist was getting like numb, like not super numb where I couldn't feel it, but like it was tingling and, you know, just kind of being numb, and that sucks. But it's whatever. It's not horrible. I don't think it's gonna be as bad this time. And I'm probably always gonna have it. It's nothing crazy. You know, I wake up with it numb, and sometimes it's kind of, you know, stiff and tough, but whatever. As far as, you know, law enforcement, that's something I'm 100% committed to. Like, I have not even given up the slightest on my mind, you know, about the whole, you know, Vancouver, Washington thing. I have not given up on that. It is still the same as the you know, the day that I made the video. I'd love to live there. That is my end goal place, you know, Vancouver. I made the video saying that I locked it in, and I was being serious. I completely 100% locked it in. That's still the same. Law enforcement still the same. As far as going into the National Guard, that is obviously still the same, or really anywhere, you know, not just the National Guard, but preferably the National Guard. The only thing about that is, you know, I need to, you know, get in much better shape before I can, you know, do that. And what, you know, I'm just working, you know, I'm not eating that much, honestly. I could be eating more, to be honest, but I'm not, you know, it's whatever. But I'm gonna, you know, get it figured out. So segment number 1 was the phone. Segment number 2 was the job. So to summarize the whole segment number 2 about my job, going pretty good. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna stay there for a while, you know, keep making money and da. Number 3, I guess, is goals, plans, but at the same time, I've kind of stated all of those, and all of those are still the same. So like I said, you know, I have, you know, end goal is Vancouver, Washington. You know, I'd love to buy a place, buy a house one day eventually. You know, a VA loan would definitely help with that. It'd literally make the difference between me getting a house and me not getting one. I'm gonna build my credit up, this and that. Literally, like it's just there's really no point in me making this segment because I've always had the same goals. None of them have changed. You know, I mean, I guess I could talk about current goals like for right now. Obviously, like I said, I'd love to get that 3-bedroom, 2-bath apartment that I was talking about. I really want to get that. But I'm, you know, want to get a place around here. Obviously, you know, I'm gonna be working. I do want to get a Mustang, a car. I want to get a good car. I'm looking at one right now that I want so bad. I would get it 100% if I had, you know, the 7K, 6K, whatever, you know, to get it. And the crazy part is I'm only a month away from having that much money. And it's so weird to me because it's been a bit since I've had, you know, any money. So, I ordered I've been trying to make videos, but I'm back into that little weird mode where I'm, you know, trying to make videos and then I'll get sidetracked with work and then I'll completely forget. But I've been making those like driving videos, and I think I'm gonna stop doing those as much, and I'm gonna save those for when I get my car or whatever vehicle I, you know, decide to get. But with that being said, I ordered it's called the Ordinary set. It's literally like it's like a skincare set because I'm getting like a lot more. I think it's because I'm sweating a lot more and I'm just around like, you know, chemicals and stuff all day. I feel like it's just my acne is getting worse, or it's getting, you know, like I'm having some acne, and that's weird because I've never had acne. You know, I'll be 20 in a couple of months, you know, and I've never had, you know, nearly 20 years old, and I've never had like hardly any acne at all. And I've had more right now than I think I've ever had in my life. And it's all in one area. It's like my forehead and unibrow area, and then a couple on my chin. And I don't know why, but I don't know if it was because I got a haircut recently, and I actually went, because usually I'll get like the, you know, current, you know, the, I guess regular, which is like not really a textured fringe, but it's kind of like a fringe, or like maybe like a something like that, something like a textured fringe. But I got a modern mullet this time, and I feel like it looks pretty good. You know, I don't have the Joe Dirt type of mullet, but I have, you know, a relatively you know, it just looks good. It looks modern. Like I'm rocking the mustache combo, so it looks pretty decent. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I ordered that sets. It's 3 things. It's a skin hydration, and it's you know, some oils and stuff to clear my skin. You know, it's exfoliating, skin hydration, weird words that I don't even know the terms for. I know what they mean, but I don't know what they're called exactly. I know what they do. But I ordered that sets or kit, whatever. It's going to be here in a couple of days. I'm going to start using that. I want to start styling my hair again like I was a couple months ago. When I worked at Southern Motion, I feel like that was the best my hair ever looked, because I was actually using products, you know, like texture powder, and I was using, you know, sea salt spray and stuff like that. But I feel like for the look that I'm trying to go for, like that modern mullet, I want more like that beachy, wavy type of look. So I think I want to go with some more sea salt spray, possibly. I don't know. But who knows? We'll see. I might get, you know, texture powder. The only thing with texture powder, it was like super rough, and it lasted, you know, a decent while. But like after after 8 hours, it kind of went away. And I feel like I used a leave-in conditioner as well. But the thing about that is just, it's like oily. I hate the texture of it. But when, you know, it takes like 3 hours for it to fully kick in. And I mean, when it does kick in, it's great. Like it makes your hair look good. And like it looks very healthy, and you know, you know, it looks good. But it's just, it takes a while to kick in. But I think it does last the longest out of, you know, between texture powder and that. But I feel like sea salt spray is a good, you know, in between, because you don't have to, you know, you spray it, and, you know, it's not like any like cream or anything that you have to use with your hands. And it just, I don't know, it lasted a long time, and it gives you like that beach type of wavy look, and I kind of like that, especially with like a modern mullet. But that's it when it comes to, you know, obviously the, you know, car. I mean, I'm still looking at cars every day, you know, just for the fun. That's, I guess, number 3. Number 4, or segment number 4, I want to talk about friendship. So I tried to make another video about this, but I said screw it. I'm kind of dragging it on too much, so I kind of deleted the video before I uploaded it. But Jacob and Jonathan. So I haven't really talked to Jacob. I haven't talked to him on the phone in a couple of months. You know, maybe about a month. And yeah, no, it's been about 2 months now. It was like right before me and Jonathan quit talking again. And I talked to him while I was over at Jonathan's. And I haven't talked to him on the phone, like voice calling. But we've sent like a couple snaps back and forth, like, you know, maybe like once or twice a week. Just, you know, for whatever, you know, I feel like we're on decent terms. We're not on like good, like best friendship type of terms, but we're not on like block, you know, we're not on like, you know, we're not on me and Jonathan type of terms. We're not on me and Jonathan type of terms. You know, we're better than that, obviously. It's, you know, not that bad, but that's Jacob. You know, I don't really have too much to say about Jacob. You know, he's kind of doing his own thing. I'm doing my own thing. When I do get my vehicle, though, I do want to start hanging out with him. So I guess when I do get it, I'll probably, you know, hit him up, because I work third shift. So I can literally, you know, go early in the morning and work, or I can go like, you know, before I go into work, or maybe a weekend that I'm off, whatever. That's one thing I like about third shift. Now, Jonathan, clueless. I'm still more clueless than I've ever been. I don't understand, you know, like I've been thinking to myself that if he did it, you know, because I know the last day that we hung out before he did this again, he we were talking, and I remember him saying that, you know, he didn't want to. I can understand that he was overwhelmed, because I was, you know, we were, you know, every day trying, you know, to do the band stuff. We did it every day for like a week, and I get that he could, you know, he probably got overwhelmed, because he does easily anyway, and I really don't, and I guess I didn't realize how much it took a toll on him. But I remember him talking, you know, like the day that he stopped talking to me, he said that he wished that it was like the old times where we would drive to Tupelo and do this and that, and I understand that, I guess, you know, because, you know, I feel like that way too. Like that's literally what I'm chasing. That's my goal right now, is to get back to those times, but also having more money. And I'm right there now. Like I'm literally, I'm to the point where obviously I have more money than I ever have, because I'm back at Sunshine again, making that type of money. And Jonathan knows how my checks were then and how much money I'm making, and he knows that. I don't even know if he knows. I don't know if he knows that if I'm working at Sunshine or not. But if he, you know, if he's watching this video, then he'll know now, you know, or if he's been keeping up with it, you know, I do work, you know, at Sunshine again, of course. But I'm making that money again as well. And I heard it, you know, I remember him saying, you know, he wishes it was like the old times, you know, driving to Tupelo, going, you know, late night drives, going to drive, you know, going to eat Canes and places like that. And that's literally what I'm chasing, and that's literally what I want. That's my number one thing right now. But this is the thing. Right before we quit talking again for the 30 millionth time, that was a horrible time in general overall for us to start hanging out again, because number one, I had no money, and that was weird, because I'm usually the one who always was paying for people. You know, I paid so much money for Jacob. I paid so much money for Jonathan. I paid so much money for everybody, you know, to eat, to go have fun. I was always the way of transportation. I was always the way of making everything happen. And then for the first time in my life, I didn't have that. You know, I lost the car. You know, I didn't have a job. I had no money. I had no transportation. I had no way to get, you know, places. And, you know, I had nothing. So, it was like the worst possible time that we could have started hanging out. And if he did this, like, that's the thing. I'm trying to figure out why he did it. Because if he did it just to kind of let time pass for me to get my stuff together to the point where we could start having those times again, I'm not going to be so, you know, irritated, I guess I should say. I'm not mad. I mean, I don't really care. I mean, I care. I do care, but I'm not mad, you know. I'm not mad, but I do care. I can't say that I don't care. I do care, but like I said, if he did that for basically the fact, just because, he knew it was a bad time for us to really hang out, because I had nothing. I was back down at ground zero again. I had nothing. Then I'll understand that. But I do, if we ever start talking again, I do want to have a good, I want to go sit down somewhere nice and eat, maybe Cane's or, someplace to chill and talk, why he did it. But if that's the reason, whatever. But if that's not the reason, I have no idea, because when me and Jacob were friends, we never went on and off. Me and Jacob never went on and off. From the start, when we first became friends to now, we've never went on and off. The only times that we've been on and off have been, the last like 6 months, and that's because of, life. That's because he's had to, he has family trouble, and I've had, life trouble, and so. That's because of that, but that's completely different. Now, with me and Jonathan, we have never had a consistent, constant friendship. I would say the most consistent that our friendship was from that October in 2023 that I came back down here. I remember driving my S10. Oh, and then we went to the fair and all, the whole Alaska era and stuff like that. That was all the way from then to the first time that I ever moved back down here, which was last summer, which is like June 1st of 2024. From October 23 to June 1st of 2024. That was the most constant and consistent I'd say we were. Like we never really went on and off too much. And then when I finally moved down here, I feel like that's when the problems started. I guess because we were hanging out every day, but who knows? I don't know. But we've never ever really honestly had a constant friendship. And I'm not going to sit here and say I haven't changed. I'm a whole different person compared to 2018. I'm absolutely a completely different person. But he is very different. And he's very, very, very much the same person. But he is very different in the way that he deals with stuff and looks at life now. Like, I feel like that whole juvie and mental hospital, that when all that occurred, I feel like it changed him. And I don't feel like he's been the same since. But I don't know. Maybe I'll eventually know. I feel like he'll get curious, or maybe, when I get a vehicle, I'll stumble upon him. Because, we only live like 2 or 3, like literally maybe 2 miles at the most, like 2 miles from each other. We live in the same little town. We're only like 2 miles, and I haven't, I'm tripping. I've also noticed another thing. When we're hanging out and we're on good terms, whenever his dad is going to do stuff, like if he's grocery shopping, if his dad is grocery shopping, or if he's, going out and, if he has something to do, when we're on good terms, Jonathan usually goes. I'll see him and Jonathan, driving to the grocery store, places like that. But when we're not on good terms, like lately, I've seen his dad so many times at like, our local grocery store, places like here and there, driving, on the road. I've seen him so many times. Jonathan, I have not seen one time since all this happened. Who knows? Like I said, if he did it for the reason that I'm hoping he did, I wouldn't be so, crazy about. But if he didn't do it for that and he did it for something else, then I don't understand. Because it's literally just like, I don't understand, because this is the thing. I had nothing to do. I was sitting in this house right here every day, rotting in my head, and for 2 whole months. Most people wouldn't realize how crazy that is, but I'm just not that type of person. I have to be working. I have to be doing something constant every day, whether that's driving to the store once a day, or, you know, driving, going out. I have to be doing something, or I get super depressed and super down when I'm, you know, like I was, you know, a month ago, you know, for 2 whole months after I lost everything, sitting in this house all day, every day. And I was already making music at the time, so I was like, well, you know, I gave him a crazy deal. Mind you, I lost so much money from this whole PC setup thing. When I sold that to him, I could have gotten $1,500 out of it, and I sold it to him for $800. And the PC alone, I could have gotten, you know, $1,300 to $1,500 for. And then it came with 2 monitors, a headset, a mic, you know, all this and that. And so we obviously tried starting the band stuff. So we were going over there, you know, I was going over there, you know, around every other day. Like, I'd go over there, you know, maybe 2 days in a row, then I'd skip 2 days, and I'd go over there once, and then skip another day, then I'd go over there another day, something like that, like a routine kind of like that. But I don't know. There was a problem at the very end. I think it was the last day. And I told him, because I said, you know, that because this is the thing. I feel like it was a misunderstanding, because the day before all this happened, he said that he wanted to take a break and you know, he wanted to quit doing this and take a break from all the band stuff, because he said, oh, that's all we've been doing. You know, I want it to be like the, you know, good old times. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then I seen a good, you know, free preset and free auto tune and stuff like that off of FL Studio, and I was like, well, he has everything we need. Let me just go over there and try it out. I go over there, bam, it's a problem. You know, he was like, he's like, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, you know, but is the only reason that you're coming over here to use the PC? And I was like, well, I mean, I'm just trying this preset out. I'm trying this and that out, and I mean, obviously I have to come over here to do so. And I was like, so yeah, I mean, that is for today only, that this is the only reason that I came over here today, because I wanted to try and test it out. And we started talking about, you know, and this really got to me. It really made me mad. And because I said something about the whole, you know, about him moving in and him doing this and that. And he said that, and it really made me mad. He said that if he ever did move, he said when at the time. He's like, well, when I do move over there, I'm probably just gonna leave my setup and leave my PC here. And he didn't say why until I kind of, like, I guess, made him say why. Like, I peer pressured him, because I knew what the reason was. I just wanted him to say it. And he said, well, because I feel like you would be using it more than me. And he's so wrapped up in the wrong things. Like, why did that whole day have to be ruined because of, you know, something small like that, when we could have just put it to the side and you know, did something? Like, that's what I'm not understanding. Like, you know, literally, and another thing that I don't understand is 30 minutes after all that happened, we went to McDonald's and chilled and ate and stuff like that, and da-da-da-da-da. And then we had a great time. We were, you know, laughing just like the good old times, whatever. Got there, you know, came back home, and then I knew it. I knew what was happening, but it's happened so many times that I can just tell. The way that he responds to messages, and it's the time, like, I'll send a message, and it'll say that he's been active. Like, I'll send a message at 2 p.m, and it'll say that he was active, you know, 20, 30 minutes ago. And then he will be on his phone, because, I mean, he's 18 years old. He's not stupid, and he likes being on his phone. We all do. So I knew he was on his phone, and it came, you know, like I said, I sent this message at like 2 p.m. I looked back at like 10:15 or 10:20 p.m. So like 8 hours later. And then it said that he had been active. And it said that because I looked at 10:30 or no 10:15 or 10:20 p.m. and then it said it said that he was active like 5 minutes ago, but it still said that my message was, you know, just undelivered. So I knew something was up then, and it's just it's certain things that he does, because like I know exactly when that happens, and I just don't understand it. And I bet his dad is probably just as confused as he is, or just as confused as I am, because his dad has seen it. His dad has seen this happen so many times. Like, I was going over there every day for like 5 or 6 days, and then bam. Like, because I mean, I'm sure his dad was like, wow, you know, they're really, you know, really good friends again. They're doing all this, you know, band stuff. You know, they must be on good terms, you know, just buddies hanging out. And then bam, literally like the next day. So I know this is a long video, but there's obviously some stuff I needed to say and get off my chest. But, you know, I've broken this down into 4 segments, but there you have it. I mean, I'm hoping, you know, I'm gonna be honest. I shouldn't be friends with him again. I should not try again, because of how he has done stuff the last, you know, couple of times. I feel like this time should have done it for me, but I don't know. I'd like to have, you know, sit down, eat somewhere, and have a good chat, because I'm very curious myself. We'll see though. I'm gonna see what I can do. So another thing, I have my, you know, videography, you know, the dark aesthetic type of, you know, I have that account on TikTok, and then I have a music only account. And I seen that because he I think I said this, but he blocked me on my my, you know, videography account that I did all the stuff on. And then I seen where he had viewed my profile on my other account. So I feel like he's starting to get curious. He's starting to get curious again, you know, but which I don't even know how long it's been. I'm gonna have to sit down after I make this video and think of how long it's already been, because I mean, we're literally nearly at the end of August, so it's coming up on a month and a half. Yeah, it's literally been a month and a half since that's happened, so we're coming up on the 2-month mark. So yeah, anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. But I just, you know, I had to say this thing. I'm gonna go chill and enjoy my weekend off, and then go back to work. And then so I guess maybe, unless I have something else to say, my next like specific video is gonna be obviously when I purchase the phone. And then when I do purchase it, I'm obviously, you know, just gonna, you know, do a review on it with this phone. So I'm gonna record off of this one, the iPhone 15, and then I'll you know, obviously do the unboxing on it. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.